Hello, Sagittarius, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. This reading is for the new moon's partial solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo that is peaking on September 21st. Let's see what energy wants to pop out. Take what resonates, release what doesn't. This is just a brief message with this deck that is giving you some guidance as to how to move through this energy of this eclipse new moon. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. So attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. Take what resonates again, release what doesn't. My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. So this already to me is feeling like a recognition of, I think I talked about this in a prior reading about facing those fears of really, looking at the pain, the attacks, the things maybe you have been judged for or that you were judgmental about, and recognizing something within that. I feel like this is part of your ascension and your elevation. So it's about looking for that, right? And recognizing what you can do to shift and change that energy, grow from that situation, learn from that experience, whether this was done to you or whether this was something that you initiated, right? So this does feel like a big shift and a change. I feel like this new moon is going to really bring things to the surface about that and allow a new way forward after having learned and dealt with that situation. All right, let's see what other energies want to come out for you. This is for you, Sagittarius, for the new moon partial solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. So let's see what other energies want to show up for you. What else do you need to know? You have two coming up. And wow, this really resonates with that first card. And I think out of all the times I've been using this deck, this is the first time I've really remember this card popping up. So that was very interesting. But the Nine of Air and the Messenger of Water. So let's start first. Look, Four of Air at the bottom of the deck, right? A lot of air energy right here. We are about to have, this air trine, really intense air trine taking place. But let's start with this Nine of Air. So the Nine of Air can talk about insomnia. It can talk about a lot of heavy burdens in the mind, like a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing, that sort of thing, feeling stuck as well. And an energy of repetitively thinking about something or having something really burdensome on the mind, right? We got the messenger of water, and this talks about that energy of really communicating, taking action, delivering something from a place of love. Water talks about feelings, emotions, and there could have been some sort of energy that I'm feeling that maybe had you stuck in a repetitive cycle, like in your mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. It could be something you're connected with, but where it was consistently in a loop of, I don't feel a high vibrational energy. I'm feeling an energy of, it's giving me that survival mode sort of energy versus the energy of that flow of the water, which talks about love. I feel, whoever I'm talking to, that you may have been stuck in that situation for a while. Like it has been, like I feel like a loop, like on a repeat cycle. And I feel where this cycle is breaking now. With this Four of Air, I'm also feeling with this where it's time to rest, recharge, rejuvenate, reevaluate, right? In order to move forward. And I feel like this is the biggest thing that I'm feeling coming up from this energy. I'm also feeling like the breaking of this cycle through love, right? Like getting out of that head and getting more into that heart space and dismantling that cycle. Yes, taking control. Number 4 again. So I'm seeing the 4 with the Emperor. I see the 4 at the bottom. We have the major arcana card with the Emperor, and this talks about being a true leader, being authentic. This is having structure. This is having discipline. This is about being a powerful leader and leading by example. Positive example, I want to say, because if this Emperor was not in that higher vibrational frequency, which could have been something in the past that was, this could ultimately have been a tyrant, right? Like forcing or demanding, or my way or the highway kind of energy. And I feel like somebody is recognizing where they've been in that kind of a loop. At the bottom of the deck is the Love card, and this is the card of the Lovers, another major arcana card. So very interesting to see those 2 major arcana cards coming out there. I'm feeling with these pillars, and I've been hearing this in my mind quite a bit lately, like be that pillar of strength, right? I'm feeling this is also a card of choices, decisions, and things like that. And look, underneath it was the 6 of air, right? Again, it's giving me that energy just when I'm seeing the air, and then I'm seeing the water, right? The 6 of air indicates moving forward, being spiritually guided to move towards calmer waters, more peace, more authenticity, love, that sort of thing, getting out of that stagnant, that repetitive. I just feel like it's a repetitive mindset of survival mode. That's how I'm feeling. And I feel like it's more of getting out of that mind and into that heart and soul that really brings you into your true power. So, please leave me a comment, take what resonates, release what doesn't, but definitely leave me a comment and let me know if this is something you're recognizing, owning, right? Things like this is taking accountability and recognizing these sorts of patterns are where we can break those cycles and situations and experiences in order to move forward towards something much better. And I do feel like that's what's on the horizon. I feel like this is what is showing up in this card, in this deck. So there's the 2 of fire. 2 of fire talks about choices, decisions, a path. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. I've seen this card come up several times, and 4 of Earth is on the bottom, because I feel someone is recognizing, like, I feel there's a pattern that I feel someone is now recognizing and owning. They're like taking accountability for this, right? And making a choice, trusting their higher intuition, making a choice or a decision. I feel like they recognize they get so far and then there's a block. They get stuck. There's like they're holding back or things aren't moving forward. There's that sort of energy that is showing up. And I feel like somebody is recognizing that pattern and how it's not sustainable. It's not, it doesn't necessarily bring them through that point of ascension, of moving forward, of success, of victory. And I feel like they're seeing it for what it truly is, recognizing their role in that and seeing the pattern for what it is and being able to dismantle that, change that pattern. There it is, King of Wands, beautiful energy. King of Wands talks about that leadership energy, like taking action, leading by example, having the strength, courage, and confidence. Loyalty is huge in there. 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So I do feel that there were some seriously challenging situations. Again, it just keeps repeating to me this repetitive cycle over and over and over again until ultimately somebody has the strength, courage, and confidence to change that, to be the catalyst, to recognize that, to accept responsibility for that, and to change, like ultimately make a choice and decision to change whatever this cycle pattern is, right? So let's keep going. One more card to clarify the 9 of Wands and the 9 of Air and the King of Wands. There is the Page of Pentacles. So this really is beautiful. High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. Again, she's already out here over here. So I'm feeling like this is a fresh start, a new opportunity. It is earth sign energy. So yes, with this Virgo new moon, this is that opportunity to do things in the physical realm a lot differently than has been done in the past, right? It is something new. So again, be mindful, right, of that. Like you might, stumble a little bit, I'm feeling, along the way, or getting this going, but don't give up. Keep moving forward. Keep being that catalyst to bring forth that change, right? Stick with those choices and decisions that are for your greater good, that really have that long-term stability, security, whatever that is, the long-term benefits. Like this, it's not easy to break cycles, right? And there's the Lover's card again, and this is clarifying the messenger of water. So this talks about making choices and decisions from love, from a healed heart space, from a nurturing kind. There's the Queen of Fire. So I'm seeing the Queen and the King. This could be for some of you in regards to relationships, that sort of thing. Doing it from a place of love, making choices that are true, right, for you. It's not, I feel like there is this energy, like I said, about trying to force something or make something fit that didn't fit. I feel like it was like that energy of just survival mode or something. It's just really strongly giving me survival mode, and I feel like that's it. Like this is done, this is over. There's no more of that mindset. There's no more of them repetitive cycles and circles. It's more aligning with authenticity and what is true. And then we got the King of Pentacles. This really is clearly showing to me like this will ultimately result in major shifts and changes on a positive note in your physical realm. With that King of Pentacles showing up, and we are seeing two kings. This doesn't have to be a man, right? Like tarot has no gender. We got the Empress on the bottom of the deck. This to me feels like being the kings. It's showing up to me as an energy of where you're ready to put this out into the world. You're ready to take the action. You're ready for people to see these changes, these shifts. You yourself are ready to implement those into the physical realm. The drive, your passion, your ambitions, co-creating with the universe, this stability and security for the long term. When I'm seeing the Empress on the bottom of the deck, I'm seeing Venus, and I'm also feeling that energy of co-creating with the universe for yourself to have growth and expansion through peace in your heart, peace in your soul, in love, right? This is from a high vibrational. The Empress is all about co-creating with the universe, and she creates, and it's like she manifests out of thin air as a result of that love, that nourishment, that kindness, that compassion. All of that energy is how she births things into creation. So the next card that comes up is the Two of Pentacles, and this is talking about that Emperor. I'm clarifying that Emperor energy right there with the Two of Pentacles. Again, about a choice. We got the Two of Fire, choice. It's not, like I can see very clearly where we got the Two of Fire, choices, decisions, the path you want to take, the action, which this fire goes with this fire. We got the Two of Pentacles goes with this King of Pentacles. Like this is about the choices and decisions that are being made now. You see Jupiter right there talking about growth, expansion, movement forward. Again, Queen of Wands is on the bottom of the deck, Queen of Fire in this deck. But anyhow, aligning, making choices that are sustainable. Like this is divine connection. This is sincerity. This is authenticity. This is having strength, confidence. And I did see the Queen, and I've already showed her to you once, and here she is again. I feel behind the scenes there have been like things that you have been doing that are working towards this shift, this change, these changes. I feel like change in direction, different choices that are being made right now in order to master, right, that stability, security, long-term, whatever this is for you, you know, whether this be within relationships, jobs, finances, whatever it is. So then we got the Seven of Wands showing up. So I'm feeling this choice and decision is to rise above something. There is that Leo energy right there. We have Mars energy right there. I feel like there has been some sort of restrictive energy, like where I've felt that before, like where you keep getting to a certain place and then you can't break through and ascend. And it's because of an old mindset. It's because of maybe a closed heart chakra. It's because of some repetitive cycle that kept taking place. So you kept going around in the same circle. I feel like this is you rising above that energy, right? I feel like this is you taking the higher ground, taking action to move in a different direction, making choices again from a different space, a different place, a different vibrational frequency. And it is what I feel brings you through the breakthrough of that old cycle that is just not beneficial, I'm feeling, for your greater good. So let's grab a couple more cards and let's look at what this choice with the Two of Fire is. Again, I've seen the High Priestess. She's like popping up to me right now. And not only is she popping up to me when I'm looking over here, but she also did show up earlier. And I'm recognizing and really seeing the color within these two cards that really go together. My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe, right? And underneath that card is the presence of love will always cast out fear. And we've seen fear up there, right? Like this is like, you know, if you're afraid that, you know, because something that you have to not, like if you have a fear of letting go of something because there's not, of what could or could not be, right? I get this feeling that you're really facing this fear and recognizing like you don't want to hold on to it just because it feels good short term. You want something you can hold on to that's going to last, stand the test of time, last long term. And I do feel like there is some sort of major shift taking place with this eclipse energy that is going to eclipse something out and allow that space to be open for you to make room for whatever that may be. And there's Judgment. So Judgment is out here, major arcana card. It's a pretty big deal when we see this. You can see people being cast aside. So there are situations that are being eclipsed out, which, you know, that's pretty, you know, norm for the eclipse season, where things that maybe we've held on to that we know we shouldn't have, where these get eclipsed out in order to, you know, be able to rise above it, to make that space, to bring you through the healing or whatever it is. The Death card is on the bottom of the deck. So this has been twice in this reading that right off my head that I can feel you've had a major arcana card really on the bottom of the deck, which you don't see coming. And clarifying another major arcana card. The first one was the Emperor right there. So I feel like this Judgment is talking about a completion, something ending, totally completing out. Look, and there's another major arcana card. So a new beginning can take shape, take place. With the Judgment card here, I feel, you know, the Judgment is that radical shift, that radical change, where out of nowhere something is just, it's done. It's eclipsed, it's out, it's being removed. And because it wasn't meant to be, maybe you've had warnings and you just ignored the red flags or didn't see something, and or just really struggled to gain clarity and insight, or, you know, see that it was a cycle, and it's a cycle that is meant to be closed out. We always have the opportunity to close out cycles on our own by recognizing them and being the catalyst for that change. And when we don't do that is when you see the Judgment or the Justice card really show up and bring that to, you know, to the real, yeah, look, Ten of Swords, to bring that to the physical realm. Ten of Swords, Nine of Swords, Ten of Swords, wow. Bottom of the deck, the World card. This is showing to me that whatever this cycle was, because it strongly feels like a cycle, especially when I'm seeing the World card here, that there has been a very unhealthy, and it's, you know, cycle that has been happening. Ten of Swords talks about betrayals, right? Whether you were the one that this was happening to, or you were the one who was doing this sort of thing, this is very, especially with that judgment there as well. Like, I feel you're at a point of no return when, like, you can stop doing this willingly. You can make the choices and decisions from a beautiful heart space, right? The messenger of water, communicating, having conversations, taking action with love, or the universe is going to come in and just remove something so that this cycle is ended. Like, it will end the cycle for you. Judgment is here. Let's see what's underneath the world. 10 of Cups, right? So it's been a cycle that has been blocking that 10 of Cups, right? This is why this is going to be going down or happening, is because it's like we are all meant to experience heaven on earth, but you cannot be walking on the earth or having people, places, or things in your life that are sabotaging you or you to them, and then expecting to receive that, right? We are all here to put out into the universe that energy of love, support, nurturing, kindness, caring, that sort of energy. And I feel somewhere there has been a cycle going on for you that has just been on repeat of, like, overwhelmed of the mind, like I feel survival mode. And, you know, whether you have been betrayed, or you have been betraying, like with that 10 of Swords, tens are completions. And when you look through this reading, right, you can see the 9 up there, you see the 10 over here, and I am feeling, and I am also recognizing that judgment with the judgment here. Like, there is a major judgment or a major awakening that is taking place right now. And if you know, I feel like there is something that is just, it's time for this cycle to end. This has not been a healthy cycle. It has been a toxic cycle. It's kept someone stuck. It's been on repeat. And this is it. The cycle closes out in order to move towards that peace, balance, love. This could be within family. Cups talk about family, talks about loyalty right here. I'm also seeing the fire stick out in that fireplace. So it does feel, with all the fiery energy that is out here, that I'm feeling like it's about taking action, making choices and decisions that are coming through that healed heart space, like doing what's, you know, doing the right thing, and recognizing where I feel like you're breaking a cycle. Like, the cycle, this is definitely with the Death card that showed up to, with that judgment, you know, clarifying that judgment in the World card. There's been a very, I feel, long rolling cycle that's just been on repeat, right? Could have had different characters, different people, places, things associated with this, but it's been a reoccurring cycle that gets you only so far, and then you recognize you're not going any further with this, and it's because it's something that's not sustainable for the long term. And this is where that is going to be eclipsed out, and there is going to be that breakthrough energy in order to heal from this, to move forward, to be able to evolve. So I do hope this serves you well. Please leave me a comment. And if you haven't already, I really would appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much. I send you love and light. Have a great day.